Ethiopia is a vast country, ranked among the largest in Africa by land area. Its population size and economic capacity were not enough to sustain its current standing. The cycle of ethnic conflict and the ethnic federalism established 30 years ago are costing the nation dearly. Ethiopia, and by extension East Africa, can only develop if economic integration is created. Economic integration is achieved when countries are connected by vast and long transport corridors. This can be done by building wide and long highways, and by connecting with fast railways. This is how Europe developed. African countries, let alone connecting with each other, do not even have transportation lines that properly connect their internal regions, especially railways. A recent report by Reporter magazine presented a hopeful development. It indicates that a study for a long railway project that will connect northern and eastern cities within Ethiopia, and moreover, link Addis Ababa to Sudan's port city of Port Sudan, has been completed. This railway project will connect cities including Awash-Haraga, Hara, Gondar, and Metema. We will therefore examine this huge project in detail. There is a project to connect Africa by rail from north to south. This project starts from South Africa, passes through East Africa, heads to North Africa, circumnavigates through Mauritania, Côte d'Ivoire, and Nigeria, and then returns to South Africa, covering a route of over 10,000 kilometers of railway and highway. Although this project was conceived by colonial powers, it has not been rejected because of its benefit and is expected to be realized one day. Recently, a major project was featured in the reporter's report. This project connects Addis Ababa with regional cities and Sudanese port cities. The study to construct a 12-kilometer railway line to connect the capital city of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, with Port Sudan has been finalized. The Ethiopian Railways Corporation announced that the study took 4 years and cost $1.7 million, supported by the African Development Bank Group, and that the project is ready for detailed design and construction works. The study, supported by the African Development Bank Group, explains in detail that the railway line will cover 594 kilometers on the Ethiopian side and 918 kilometers on the Sudanese side, passing through Addis Ababa, Woldia, Haragebeya, Wereta, Gondar, Metema, Calabat, Kassala, and eventually reaching Port Sudan. It is clear that this project is part of the Awash-Haraga railway line. Reports from a few months ago indicated that efforts had begun to resume the finalization work on the railway project that was highly anticipated to connect Addis Ababa via Awash to Woldia and then to Mekelle. This project, which was reportedly heavily looted during the Northern War and whose construction was suspended, saw movements to resume it a few months ago. When Ethiopia resumed railway construction after a century, one of the projects conceived was the line starting from Awash and ending at Haragebeya or Woldia. This line is now part of the railway line said to extend from Addis Ababa to Port Sudan. The Awash-Haraga railway line alone has a total length of 392 kilometers, and its construction was divided into 2 phases. The first phase, from Awash to Kombolcha, is 207 kilometers long. The second phase, from Kombolcha to Haragebeya, covers 122 kilometers. The reason for dividing the construction into 2 phases was the lack of a full budget for the project at the time. To carry out the construction of the railway, an agreement was reached in 2012, and the construction of Phase 1 began in 2014. It had a budget of $1.235 billion. Phase 1 of this railway construction is 100% complete and was waiting for the supply of electric power to begin service. As it suffered massive looting during the Northern War, efforts are now being made to reactivate this railway line. Meanwhile, the study for the railway construction that is expected to connect Addis Ababa with Port Sudan, as well as Addis Ababa with Gondar, has been made public. A document unveiled yesterday, Tuesday, at a business and investment conference held by the Ethiopian Railways Corporation with stakeholders at the Skylight Hotel in Addis Ababa indicated that the project is vital for the integrated economic and social development of both countries. It was stated that the study is complete and ready for detailed design work and construction. This project was prepared in conjunction with Ethiopia's 10-year growth plan 2021-2030, Sudan's 25-year national development strategy 2007-2031, and the African Union's Agenda 2063. The Ethiopian Railways Corporation's next steps involve finding financing sources and carrying out design works. In Ethiopia, the section from Addis Ababa to Hara is mostly complete. The new construction will likely begin from the Woldia line, passing through Gondar and Metema, and crossing into Sudan. This railway project is said to be extremely important for the economic integration of East Africa. Beyond that, it is expected to open another port alternative for Ethiopia. State Minister of Transport and Logistics, Dange Boru, who attended the conference on Tuesday, spoke about projects that connect Ethiopia with other countries. He stated that currently, only 14% of the average 18 million tons of cargo exported annually between Ethiopia, Djibouti, and Tajura ports is transported by rail. He noted that 97% of the coffee exported by Ethiopia is transported by rail, emphasizing that the new railway project will provide another alternative. He also mentioned that the Addis Ababa Djibouti railway line transported 2.11 million tons of cargo in the last fiscal year, but added that the line currently has the capacity to transport up to 10 million tons. If the railway is built as planned, it will be a great opportunity for the region and will have a significant benefit to the economy. Between 30 and 40% of the money Ethiopia spends on foreign trade goes to logistics. To send goods to foreign countries through Djibouti, an average of 28,000 vehicles travel to Djibouti every year. The country's high fuel expenditure, as well as delays caused by vehicle breakdowns in the logistics system, prevent products from reaching the market on schedule. Now, the study for the long railway connecting Addis Ababa to Port Sudan is complete, and preparations are underway to begin construction. The railway line has the potential to connect Djibouti, Assab, Gondar, Woldia, Addis Ababa, and Port Sudan in the future. However, before this project, the Awash-Haraga railway project must be completed. This project has cost a great deal. The project ran into trouble just as it was on the verge of successful completion. This railway project has overcome most obstacles and been built, including many tunnels and bridges. The bridges and tunnels were built using many technologies. In particular, the bridges constructed in the Karakora area involved high and special skills in construction, material, and technology use, as the area is considered earthquake-prone. They are products of high and special skills. The project includes 12 tunnels, the longest of which is located slightly before the project's destination, Haraga-Woldia. It is 2.3 kilometers long. Engineer Abdul Karim stated that the combined length of all 12 tunnels is more than 10 kilometers. The project manager's statement illustrates how difficult the area was for railway construction and the process that was overcome. The manager stated that tunnels with a length of more than 1.5 kilometers were built with special skills and technology. In case the train breaks down inside these tunnels, separate small tunnels were constructed within the main tunnel so that people can rescue themselves. More than 70 bridges have been built in the project, totaling more than 6 kilometers in length. The largest bridge is located in Karakore. It is 1.1 kilometers long. The height of the pillar used for the bridge is 53 meters. A Turkish company called Yapı Merkezi is the main contractor for the project. Ethiopian subcontractors and professionals were also involved in the construction. It is said that over 6,000 Ethiopian professionals participated in various job sectors at different times. When the initial contract was signed in 2012, it was planned that the entire 392-kilometer project would be completed in 42 months if the budget was immediately available. However, since the budget for Phase II was not secured at the time, the deadline was revised to 72 months. No single entity was initially assigned the responsibility of supplying power. Therefore, after much discussion, the government intervened and decided that the Ethiopian electric utility should supply the power. A contract was given for the power supply accordingly. It was expected that the rail service would start immediately once the power was supplied. However, the Northern War arrived and ravaged this massive project, destroying it through looting. Beyond the war and conflict, it is known that some kilometers of the rail were damaged by natural earthquakes. It can be understood from the study results that the newly announced railway project to Port Sudan is centered around this existing rail line. We have concluded. We wish you a good time.